Hello, you're listening to Who Agrees with me, Paul Black.
And me, Kendra McPherson.
Quick shout out to Iola for sponsoring this season of the podcast and saving us from bad eyewear.
No faff, no 4 hours optician's appointments, just noise glasses.
Absolutely. Listen, we were laughing and laughing before we hit record because we were just saying how funny's Missed Out Fire. But we couldn't,
classic.
we couldn't think of anything specific from it.
Apart
we just kept
from...
going,
No, she has a good line in it and now I can't remember. She's got many a good line in it, to be fair, hasn't she?
She does.
And now I can't remember apart from tits
She
being
does
on
defend
fire.
you, Kyle.
She
does.
Our breasts were on fire in it and that was hilarious.
That was some good comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I've before we start, I want to tell you about the emotional turmoil I've been in. If you're interested,
I am.
There's been a war in my mind ever since last weekend because a man came up to me after I was in the pub and out of nowhere went, "I recognise you, mate." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "Oh, I recognise you for the snack vans."
Plural.
Plural? First of all, what the fuck does that mean? From the snack vans. Right, I'm not saying I go to a snack van as much as the next man, which is not a lot.
I was about to say.
So, exactly, I've been to, I'm not going to sit here and say I've not been to snack vans, but I do not even know where a snack van near me is. Well, that's not true, I do actually. But what the fuck is he talking about? And I've been sitting thinking, maybe he was just calling me fat, maybe it was a wee joke. Why the hell the snack vans?
Was he himself rotund?
He wasn't, no.
Because I'm not saying that.
Oh, it could be in like a
I'm not
community
saying
way.
that you would deserve this, but yeah, I think that, or like are in this category. But maybe he saw you. Were you at a takeaway at the time?
No.
All right, maybe he saw you and thought
No.
one of us. But I don't think that's the case. What I will say, do you think this man has a good memory? Because I do remember a time, and I'm not
Don't
trying
bring
to
up what I know
dog you in
you're
it.
going to bring up because that's so embarrassing.
It better be the right one.
It was. I know what you're talking about, and it's obviously not going to be that with Harry Styles.
When basically me and a few of our friends were attending Harry Styles at Ibrox the first time he came to Glasgow, which in and of itself was a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll leave that to it melts.
Paul and I lived in Cessnock at the time, so it was walkable for us. And Paul wanted to come to the gig, but some reasons happened, he didn't attend.
Yeah, there was a big reason I didn't attend.
However, he then attended a snack van that was outside the gig for
Give the context.
for what more context do you want?
Well, I was walking our now dead dog, and I just thought, oh, I'll take
That's
a wee
the
bit.
longest you'd ever walked her. You ain't ever walked her along there before. There was a pull
Well,
factor.
I thought it was a nice summer's eve. She needed a wee bit of a further walk that night.
She needed some fried onions.
And I just thought I would go and listen outside the stadium and I heard da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. You're so... And I was there listening, going, oh, this is nice. And I want to hear Fine Line. Did he play Fine Line?
Yes. So
That's
that's
Fine
the
Line.
only...
Remember when we used to Fine Line to the max in the living room? I've still got a playlist called
Did he
Fine
play
Line.
Fine Line at that show in
I think
London?
he
He
did.
definitely played it at one of the shows. I did go to see him a few times on that tour.
Well, anyway, I was going to try and hear it, and I think I was enjoying it, and I thought, all right, that was nice. I'll leave the lassies to their concert now, and I'll go back up the road. But obviously, due to being an event, there was several snack vans outside, and I thought, well, they're opening, they're not getting any customers because everyone's in the gig. So I thought, I'll get a wee hot dog while
I
I'm here.
do think, though, that's the...
And I ate it walking back up the road.
That's the only snack van story that I would associate with you that I thought was remarkable in attendance.
It's really taken me. I just keep.
That was
I'm
years
lying
ago,
in
though,
bed
Paul.
at
It
night.
surely
It
doesn't
can't be
remember that.
And he said snack vans plural.
Do you go... There's a snack...
No, I'm being honest.
Be honest with me now. Since you've moved, there's a retail part behind
Yeah,
you that
I
has a
know.
snack van. Do you go
I've
to
never
that snack
been. Yeah,
van?
not
You're
once.
lying.
No, I've not. And I'd sometimes walk past that and I go, oh, that's
Lustfully.
because listen, I love a rolling sausage as much as the next
So
man.
what
which
could
is
he
a
be
lot.
talking about?
I don't know. That's why I just thought I would share with everyone because one of our friends did say to me, "Are you sure that he isn't thinking of your brother?" And I was like, "Okay, also doesn't make sense." But he said because Mark did like an impression of Ron's quality snacks.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Because the other guy kept going to me, "Boom, we're on," and I was going, "That isn't me."
That's it. And a lot of the time people do get you confused for
Fuck
Mark.
knows how.
They genuinely do. Like, I'm always surprised by the amount of people that
Well,
approach you
maybe
and think
that's
you're
the
Mark.
solution.
That's what
But
it
it's
is,
still
Paul.
saying, "I recognise you from the snack van."
But it'll just
If
be like
you're
the snack
that
van
man
content.
listening, if you're that man and you're listening to this, which we won't be, reach out to me. Let me know.
Clarify.
Yeah, tell me what that were all about.
Yeah, it's one that would keep you up a little bit because there's a lot of ambiguity around it, but at the same time, it's quite specific.
Did I tell you that time when I was like maybe like a teenager? Me and my friends were just walking in the street as you do because you have nothing else to do on a Friday night, and we walked past that garage in Ibrox. It's like it's a car wash next to Ibrox Stadium, like, and there's like there's a wee cafe and then a car wash. Anyway, there's like a bit where the cars drive out, obviously, but you need to stop to let the cars out if you're on foot. Anyway, I was on foot and I stopped to let this car pass when I was with all my friends. And bear in mind, back then I was, you're up against it in the world as a teenager. You're trying to just get by with your identity and all that and seem cool in front of your friends. And anyway, I was, believe it or not, really fancied a girl at that point. Less, I don't know. I did in my mind at the point.
It's a spectrum.
I'm not bisexual, but I'm eusexual, but I'm not bisexual. But anyway, a homosexual. I'm saying that. Anyway, but I was fancying a girl at that point. Don't know how. It was obviously just how I was conditioned by the world. And I was trying to impress her and all that. Anyway, we're walking down the street. This guy pulls out to the wee bit, rolls down his window and goes, "Were you that guy that was had the weight loss pills?" And I was like, "What? Sorry." And he went, "You couldn't get the lid off them," and then just drove away laughing. Which is such a random read, but I was
That is such a retro form of evil.
And I was a child.
Yeah,
and he was a man driving a car.
That's so
And obviously I was devastated in front of my crush.
Yeah, that's like the opposite of what you
That's
want to
probably why
happen
I'm
when you're
gay
trying
now.
to slay poon.
Whoa!
That's probably how you spoke when you were pretending to be straight as a child.
Yeah, probably.
You would go to that other level to overcompensate.
That's when we used to call people, my favourite insult that I thought everyone was saying when they were young, but they weren't, fudrinkle.
Yeah, use that to this day.
I'm glad.
But I only learned about it from you in adulthood, and now I use it.
I'm happy about that.
When it's not relevant.
But did you ever say fudrinkle in school?
Never heard it in my life.
It actually doesn't really make sense.
Fudrinkle, the Requiem is where we are now. And the Reckoning and the Requiem. Both of those things.
Imagine a film that's a bit like a bug invasion. Fudrinkle, the Reckoning.
Fudrinkle.
No, enough. This is
it's
crap.
so imaginative.
Anyway, let's move on from my trauma.
Well, I actually saw something today on my lunch hour which really, really got me. You know how they've been doing the Spiderman filming in the city centre, and it's been causing quite the crowd to turn up and look at it. I think it's nice, but it doesn't really interest me personally. However, I was walking back to my office and I seen a group of children all dressed up as Spider-Man, right? And something just really hit me, and I just thought, imagine how magical it would feel if you had, like, he's a superhero. So if you had your hero or like someone that you're like obsessed with that's fictitious actually there, like in your city.
That's like,
where you
imagine
live.
if you were a child and you just went up Buchanan Street, up Dunfermline High Street.
Up the town.
Up to the King's Gate, and you looked up at the spire on the alleged cathedral in Dunfermline, and King Kong was at the top.
Literally.
That's how you would feel. It's the same thing.
It is exactly that. And you know what?
Or it would be if like I went up Buchanan Street and with a pair of pigtails on and a little dress, and Miss Trunchbull was there and she swung me around.
Well, I actually thought today, I was thinking that exact thought. I was like, what would be the equivalent of that for me? And strangely enough, it actually wasn't King Kong, which I think people would find hard to believe. But I was like, imagine I was just like in the middle of the town and Jacqueline Wilson was flying around. I would never get the opportunity to see Jacqueline Wilson flying around past the city centre.
Past your tenement window.
Literally. Got Jacqueline Wilson flying past Central Chambers. I'll never get that.
In Cam's red car. Do you know what? I was really obsessed with the specific illustration style that
Nick
Tracy
Sharrett,
Baker used.
thanks.
Oh, whoa!
But honestly,
this picture stand.
It really got me thinking though. I was like, that is genuinely so, and obviously superheroes from that. Is Spider-Man from the Marvel verse?
Okay, it's all one new and
Well,
Yes.
you know,
DC.
he's a very
No, I don't think so.
he's a classic figure in that sphere. Obviously, probably a bit more attainable seeing him than it is Jacqueline Wilson in the wild. But
I don't know
I just thought,
That's
how?
a bizarre thing to say.
Do you know what I know? But as in, like, people
But
would want to see him
Do
flying
you
about
remember
more.
the Bailey J. Mills video of Jacqueline Wilson and all she does is just like have her as a band goes on and just keep flicking her head side to side and signing things.
Oh, I always wanted to go to a Jacqueline Wilson book signing so much.
Love Jacqueline Wilson so much. She's
So
a
much.
real legend. And do you know when people talk about people that are like so like A-listers, and not A-lister, but like A-lister in UK culture that are not known elsewhere. I'm sorry, Jacqueline Wilson, I'm not saying you're not a hit in America, but I mean like something like Tracy Baker to us is like just Danny Harmer is so famous and so recognisable.
It's a cornerstone of our culture in the UK.
It's crazy, especially for us. And think I've said this before, and I don't think it's good to say, but genuinely, when I was watching Tracy Baker, I wanted to be living in a care home.
Oh, hell yeah.
I did.
Duke cooking up a storm, sign me up.
Love Duke.
Like 100%. It was aspirational to me, which is crazy.
It just looked fun.
And a slight against my family.
And I even like, see when they did the no matter what may come my way, but slow, sad version.
Slow down reverb.
But like Tracy would be having hay fever looking at her little moon-shaped window because our bitch mother
Her famous
was away
mother
in
a
Hollywood,
limo, in a limo.
allegedly, and it'd be like, "The dreams see me through, I will win someday."
It was really, really
hey,
good.
Hey.
Really
drawn
good.
out and all that.
I
And
can
do you
hear
remember
it.
Adele?
Of course.
Yeah, I loved Adele. Anyway, what I was
Whole
I'm
ensemble
talking about
cast
for
very
Tracy Baker.
strong.
Anyway, back to Jacqueline Wilson swinging through the streets.
In front of
How
Central
did you
Chambers.
feel about Like, I've never seen these Spider-Man, so I don't really care. But Spider-Man, from me as a child, did you fancy Green Goblin?
No, but I was
No.
intrigued by Green Goblin. I would say probably out of all of the superheroes, Spider-Man, when he's a man, is a little bit more accessible to me than the other ones. Do you know what I
Tobey
mean? It feels
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, like they feel
No,
a little
it's
bit
just
more
Tobey Maguire for me.
like human. Whereas even Batman,
So that's how they get you.
Christian Bale is very glam, but I actually do really, really like the Batman trilogies.
But see when they start putting them all air at each other and they're all crossing over, I hate that.
What do you mean? Oh, like
crossover episodes.
when it's like a melting pot of
Yeah.
all the
And it's,
superheroes.
that's why I
Avengers.
can't deal with mad fucking. I'm glad that Marvel has finally ceased. Well, it's not ceased, but stopped doing 45 movies a second.
Like, yeah, it's not my bag at
But
all.
can we talk more about the Spider-Mans of our day? See, love Kirsten Dunst so much. She's the perfect MJ. And then was it Emma Stone? And then Zendaya.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. But I loved her Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, that's
Tobey
what
Maguire.
that feels
It feels so
classic
nice
to
and
me.
special. And also, I love playing it on the PlayStation. You ever play it on the PlayStation?
I actually did as well on the
Did you?
PS2.
Sorry. Whoa. I just looked at Lorenzo. Didn't
There's a
even ask the
woman
question
here.
to
I
Kendra.
actually did play Spider-Man on my PS2.
Do you know what? I love games like that are like, I think you believe the term is a sandbox game, where you can just go about and do whatever you want. Like, you don't just need to do the same, like, now, like some games, it's like take level up, you just do the missions or whatever thing
That's
you
why I
do.
always wanted you to go in story mode on COD and you wouldn't do it.
No, that's the opposite of that, because
Oh.
story mode on COD, I'm following a story and then I go to the next
Oh,
bit. Then
right,
there's
okay.
a fucking 25-minute movie break bit
Oh,
where there's
I like that. I like that better.
a cut scene, and then no, I like where you can just games where you can just make the rules. You show up and you say, "This is my game. I'm here to play." Like, say with Spider-Man, because you could do missions and you could save civilians. You could do that, or you could just sling your hook.
Sling your spunk all
Sling your-
over the buildings.
And just go anywhere. And I used to love doing this every time I'd go, because obviously in New York City, I would sling my way up to the very top of the Empire State Building, jump off it like I was committing suicide, and the second before I hit the ground, I would up again.
I remember that being satisfying, but I remember playing it and feeling a little bit aimless because I don't think I really understood what I was doing and why I was doing it. So after a while of just slinging my spunk from building to building, I was just a bit like, and what now?
But that's different from me. But
Yeah, I didn't have
sometimes
the
would get
skill
bored,
set.
I would get
To be
bored.
fair, the whole time I had a PS2, I would just move between doing that, trying to play Tomb Raider but failing.
Love
and then
Tomb Raider.
I used to just incessantly play Silent Alarm by Block Party on CD on my PS2.
Nice. Well, you know,
that's all I did.
I think it's nice. Oh wait, I thought you meant you like played the game and listened to your CD.
No, I listened to
separate.
music on the PS2. I used
Do you
it as a
remember
CD
what
player.
it would look like when you put a CD into your PS2 and it would do like that?
The box. It would be like a different than when the boxes changed colour with the music, and I found it really soothing.
It was very
And I would just lean back,
hypnotising.
put my hand in my Groovy Chick mini fridge for a full fat Coke, and just enjoy my day.
Can we get a mini fridge in here? That's been raised before. We don't need one because there is a kitchen, but
I know.
I want one in here just so to feel safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would love? Because you know I like to just go on Facebook Marketplace. Right now I'm in the market for a wardrobe, so I've been looking for that every day. But you know I just look. I don't buy. I look and look.
Freestanding, or do you want to?
I want a PAX with no door.
Oh, nice.
I've been doing. I go on. Sometimes I go see when I've got my whole home office set up. I go on the desktop computer and I go type this in. PAX builder.
You'll surely get that.
Aye, but you know how I do. I bide my time. I don't run in and go, oh, there it is. I go, there'll be a cheaper one. There'll be one that's the perfect one I want because I believe in manifesting, which we'll go back to later. So I'm manifesting my dream PAX wardrobe right now. Marketplace. Imagine you went on Marketplace and you had just seen sitting there, needs to go free, clearing out the loft, and it was a Groovy Chick mini fridge.
I would cop so hard.
But you wouldn't. I feel like that would mean so much to you, but you're actually a responsible person. You have none of my hoarding qualities.
Well, you know what? I would want to have it if it was free and walkable distance. I would go and collect it, and I would maybe, if I had a space for it in the cupboard, I would take it. Or if it was usable, I would bring it here, and we could enjoy it here as a quirky thing. But no, I don't really enjoy. But then it's like I really like keeping sentimental items. I keep all my cards. I keep like letters. I keep like any wee kind of mindings I can from over the years in a big box. I loathe to throw away things like that because I know I will want to look back on them. But random shite, no, I don't want to accumulate garbage. Like, I want to marry Kondo that bitch. If it doesn't spark joy, get to fuck.
Stacey Solomon sort your life out to my
house. Is she doing Marie Kondo vibes?
Well, what she does is they take everything for your house, right? And take it away to a massive warehouse and they lay it out all nice, like the colour code it and all that. And they show you genuinely, it's scary how much stuff can be in your house when you put it in a warehouse setting, right? And they put it all out and then they go, what do you want to take away? But I've only watched like 2 episodes of it, and this one woman didn't want to get a date, and then she was crying and she was going nuts, and Stacey had to lay down the law. She had to come in hard and get Joe Swash in. That's
genuinely where you need to bring in a Buddhist way of thinking, because having that level of attachment to things, objects, is crazy.
But that's the problem right now, living with my partner.
Gay.
I feel like you can't say partner because you just either sound like a lesbian or old.
I feel like, though, I must admit, like, I still feel okay saying boyfriend, but it does feel a wee bit juvenile.
It's weird because almost like, see, it feels like a thing you would say. So you like, see, if you're reading the room and you go, what if I say boyfriend? And people go, boyfriend! And they kick you out of wherever you are. So it feels like partner safe, but also then because you're not saying girlfriend, it's just like, well, obviously you mean boyfriend.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway.
They're all quite antiquated terms, to be honest, when you think about it. We need a new term.
And my antiquated term are both the same, like in terms of not hoarders, but like just have so much shit in between us. Like it's insane and it's not safe.
You need like a wee middle ground there. I
fantasize about blowing my flat up.
But you always want to do that with everything, Paul.
I know.
You move from space to space and you just want to blow it up, or you want to shoot it with a gun.
Yeah, I want to shoot it with a gun.
And that is not a way to approach a context, a space, a person, or anything.
Well, the other day, right,
shoot it with a gun and blow it up.
I want to shoot it with a gun because it looks like shit from an ass. No, I told Frau I've got in my spare room. I just opened the door, throw something in, and close the door.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've
actually not been to your house for a while. I want to see
there's a reason.
With
my do you remember
you've been a bit shy.
The first few months that I lived in that flat, I was like desperate to get everyone up. I just couldn't be like, come for dinner, come for dinner. I'm going to make a pie. Oh, I miss my pie. I've not made it in a while.
She's probably in the spare room.
Puff pastry corner. But I don't know where my pie dish is actually.
In the spare room defos.
Anyway, it would be funny if it was like I threw
Remember,
things in that
I
broke.
just thought of something
No, is it bad? Well, I've
It's
been
not you,
bad.
it's Mark.
Don't embarrass me in front of the podcast.
No, it's not. It's not bad. It's fucking hilarious. When we were last up at yours for dinner, and Mark had so kindly made a tiramisu, and then
I wish you would do that tonight.
and then we were like, oh, I think that I don't know what the reason was, and I will be fact checked here if I'm wrong. Mark can correct me, but I think the worktop space was quite busy because, to be fair, you've been cooking for a fair number of people, and we were like, oh, could Pure go that tiramisu now? We'll just get it. Mark was like, oh, I'll go and get it. I'll go and get it. He reached underneath the couch and pulled a glass tray of tiramisu, and it was new and it was it wasn't dirty or anything, of course it wasn't, but there was a gap in between the floor and the couch. Mark had stored the tiramisu there because there was no space, and we were like, who pulls the dessert out from under the couch?
I think it was covered though.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't uncleaning it, but it was purely because he didn't have a surface to put it on, so he just put it there.
I wouldn't do that. That's crazy.
That was hilarious.
And also I wouldn't do that because I would forget.
It was so fucking funny. Like, it was amazing. I just wasn't expecting it.
So the other day I got up and I was like, I need to do something. Well, I'll tell you why I done it. And it's always like, I need to be forced. So like, remember I kept saying, right, I'd say to Mark, let's invite people over for dinner so we'll clean the house.
That's crazy. But habit stacking.
But yeah, so
Incentivise
I was like,
it.
I need to do it because I'm like, I'm not going to have people over when the living room's messy, so let me.
So,
I need to clean the living room. Let's invite people over. But then you get comfortable with people and you just go, sorry, my house is a mess. And then they just climb over like a pile of clothes and sit on top of it. No, it's not that bad. I'm not like, I always say it's not like dirty, it's messy. But the other day I was like getting a gas, a gas
check.
Aye. And I was like, fuck, I need to get this gas check because they came the other day and I just didn't answer the door. Is that bad to say? I just didn't answer the door because I was like, no, I can't let them into this house. It's so messy.
No, I bet they get that a lot.
And then I was like, no, they need to come in this time. So I was like, they need to check all the radiators. And I was like,
you'll get gas to death.
Like, every other room was tidy, but the spare room. And I was like, I need to do something. So I just went for it. I went to town. It took me about 5 hours.
Oh, that's
and it's
satisfying.
It's still, it's like you can walk on the floor and then go back out. But it's now things are in boxes and they're stacked.
Right.
It's full of shit, but it's semi-organised.
Right.
And I just thought I hated every moment of that. I wish I just shot it with a gun instead.
Do you know what though? I do think that
I wanted to blow it up.
Like I'm not like super obsessed with tidying and cleaning and keeping things in an order. Like, I think I can kind of bridge the gap in between. Like, I can understand when things can get messy. I don't lose sleep if something's out of place. But I think for me, if I feel like things are disorganised in my immediate space, I feel disorganised.
Yeah, I obviously do. And
do you know what I mean?
Realise, and it's like, if there's no routine and no
it's
nothing,
all about structure, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't. Do you know what? I see, when we lived together, I could, like, there's 1,000 times you probably said to me that I need routine, and I always thought, yeah, you're right. And every time it was like the first time I heard it.
It's like hearing it for the first time. It's hard though. I think that, like, if the more you resist it, the harder it gets. Like, I feel
this is why you need the gun.
Yes.
Listen to me
so
now.
You can just shoot it.
And not a pistol. I don't want to go like Jennifer Coolidge and White Lotus. No, I need a machine, like extended mag machine gun. And I picture me walking into my mess room and just going.
No, you need a bazooka.
Bazooka has 2, 1 impact. It'll just go.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's for when I feel like blowing it up. Yeah. When I feel like shooting, when I say I need to shoot that room with a gun, it's like a machine gun approach. Do you remember China from WWE?
R.I.P.
Yeah, she's dead. She used to have a bazooka.
My gran used to refer to my boobs when I was a child as my bazookas.
Whoa.
Little did she know what they were going to go into.
Bazooka
the real
deluxe.
bazookas. Why don't you? Well, actually, that leads us on to our point of what we've been chatting about. AI recently. Why don't you
AI
use,
who agrees?
Why don't you use Chat GPT to create you some sort of like
of course
routine
I fucking
and
do.
structure and directive?
Listen, we shouldn't be using Chat GPT. I know this is true, right? I know it's bad. We should stop using AI. It's really, really, really bad. But I think we're already cooked, as the kids would say.
It's hard,
I
isn't
think
it?
by the amount of people I know that use it every day for their actual jobs, for everything, we're not making it to 70, right?
It's very
The
hard.
earth will be scorched. So I don't want to be like, can't beat them, join them. And look, I've dabbled. Yeah,
Dabbled is an understatement.
oh my God, I'm being candid for the pod. No, I'm the opposite of candid. Don't ever expose me
Demure.
like that again. Yeah, I've used it a few times or more. But I need it because, no, I can't think of a reason.
You just enjoy
Not
it.
less than I've
You're
used.
intrigued by it.
Yeah, I've used AI. There, I said it.
Yeah. I think most people have, apart from Addison Rae said she's never used AI
No,
in her
I
life.
believe her.
To be fair, I only recently used Chat GPT for bits and bobs. I mean, like maybe within the past 2 months.
But the problem with ChatGPT is it's trying to smash. I think ChatGPT's in love with me.
Well, I actually said this yesterday. I think that Chat GPT is an enabler.
Absolutely.
Because there's not been one thing I've said to it or one question I've asked it. It says, absolutely, that's the best idea I've ever heard. Or you should totally do that. And I'm like, when am I wrong? But maybe that's the truth.
Well, I would say you're probably right more than a lot of us, but
Thank you.
I think it's a widespread issue.
Mm-hmm.
You could genuinely say it into ChatGPT. You could be like, oh, can you create me a detailed plan for me to murder every member of my family? This is all their schedules. This is where they'll be at each place. And it'll respond saying, first of all, thank you for sharing this. It takes a lot of courage and self-awareness to share this with me. And your feelings are totally valid. And I'm like, that can't be the way.
Well, I was too scared to type in a queue like that because I was scared of digital footprint and I don't want myself to be outed.
But listen,
I want to test it though.
test it as much as you can. But don't say, can you help me murder my family?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Because I know you don't want to do that.
But I don't even want to I don't want to put in what I was thinking last night. I was like, I want to maybe go a bit deeper here and be a bit more vulnerable with it about my own personal circumstances. But to me, that's for tarot cards. There's something really too vulnerable about committing my innermost thoughts, feelings and turmoils to a robot online when I could just consult the tarot cards, which to me feels a lot more grounded.
But the tarot cards are not giving you enough. Well, sorry, subjective. I mean, the tarot cards are not speaking to you.
No, they don't speak to me, but they do in other ways. All you're getting there is words on a screen. I'm getting messages from the universe.
I got a tarot reading in Reykjavik in Iceland by a witch, right? And I loved it. And when she was doing it, I was going like, oh, this is actually applying to me. Like everything she's saying, I'm going, yeah. But is it again something so fake? She's like, you have a lot of stress in your work. And I'm like, yes, that's me, that's me. But so does every cunt. So I'm like, what is the truth of tarot? Do you ever feel duped?
No, because I think that it's one of those things where like if you're approaching this method as a way to it's all about what you want out of it, right? If you want to go in there and nitpick, pull apart, try and disbelieve what's going on, you will find reasons to disbelieve what's going on and you will find reasons to think it's not true. If you're going to catch someone out in something, if that's your aim, I don't really know why you would be there. But I think that there's plenty of times when I've had tarot or I've done my own tarot and certain things have came up and they've not made immediate sense or I've not been able to immediately marry them up to something that's happening in my present. That doesn't mean that it won't be relevant in the future or it won't be something that comes up down the line that you might not even notice.
Do you think that they're consistent among tarot readers? Because I feel like sometimes I get a tarot reader on TikTok and they'll be like doing a reading for you and I'm like, but I'm literally I'm 1,000 miles away from you through a screen as well. So I'm like, how do you know this me? And they're always like, oh, it's the Jester of Swords. This is really bad. And I'm like, what the fuck?
There's obviously people.
That's not one, is it?
No, but it's you're amalgamating a couple of things from the deck. No, I think obviously there's people out there that know that they'll get hits or clicks or engagement with something that's very in fashion or popular at the moment. That's obviously I'm talking about when I consult cards myself or when I go to someone and I'm with them in person. But also I think sometimes if you have a question or something that's playing on your mind, even just by pulling one card from the deck gives you something to think about. Even just sitting in silence and asking the question that you're wondering the answer to, sometimes you can get the answer.
Okay.
But I do, to go back to Chat GPT, I do think that I feel more connected to doing a practice like tarot to ask the ether.
You're going analog style.
Yes, I'm medieval.
But how did tarot readers? What did they do before? But like back in the day, people that were like before they had their cards.
Well, it's a really ancient practice. The cards have been about for so
etchings on
long.
walls.
Yeah, so long. But like,
they were doing it with like what do you call it? That the 10 Amendments are on.
Stone tablets.
Yeah, a stone tablet.
Did you say the 10 amendments?
What the fuck's it? Commandments.
Oh,
the 12-step program.
I feel though like I have heard a lot of people are asking Chat GPT for therapy, and I find that interesting.
Well, genuinely, therapy is so expensive, and that is very accessible. So that was the other thing, and it is actually good because, again, it's people are like, oh, it just tells you what you want to hear. Do you know who else sometimes does that? Therapists. Have you ever seen that tweet that says the worst person you know right now is sitting in front of a therapist and they're telling them it's not their fault?
But actually, I've been listening to You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, the audiobook, since we spoke about it the other week.
I'm loving it.
And you know what's really helping me? It's such a good refresher for self-help. Which
First of all, love the way she speaks.
Yes, so soothing.
I feel like she was my gran when I lived in, like, back in a past life when I lived in America in the 60s.
So soothing. It is a little bit old-timey, but at the same time, what's helping me therapize myself and approach things with a different perspective again, because I've been feeling myself recently not being negative, but maybe not approaching things with the same openness.
It's because Love Island was on.
It probably is. But what's helping me move through my relationships with people or my understanding of people is just thinking what Louise Hay said when she said, everyone is a victim of a victim.
Everyone is a victim of a victim. That's
now,
exactly how she says it, by the way.
I don't want to identify with being a victim or victimhood because I think it's quite limiting, but it helps me when I'm angry or annoyed at the way someone's behaving or what they're doing or what they've said. I'm like, they are just a product of someone before them that probably played out that behaviour to them and they don't really know any different, or they're still living through that mode of being.
But see, that's because we are both, and I think something that has united us long as friends is we are empath the movie.
Yeah.
Because we...
The Requiem.
the Reckoning. Empathy, the Reckoning, that's us. Yeah, and our life
that
is the Reckoning.
That needs to be our next live show. Empathy, the Reckoning is just our parents.
My dad's hologram.
Your dad's hologram, my immediate family and all the family that abandoned me. They'll come together for one special night of empathy.
Empathy, the Reckoning. But no, but because this is the thing of like, I constantly, and I hate when you come up against somebody that just doesn't agree. But I'm like, see when someone's like evil or has done, like, I always, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so much, I've got the third eye open and all that. But like, I'm like, yeah, but why are they evil? What happened? Like, I think that's just, I think it's actually a more logical thing in my brain than anything. Obviously, being an empath the movie as well, but just imagining Mrs. Brown's voice. Mrs. Brown's voice, the movie. And it distracted me there. But I know, like, I always think, or like when someone's talking about someone being an arsehole or whatever, and trust me, I obviously do that with people all the time.
Yeah, we all do it. I'm not saying I can be so radical about it that I never fall into that, knee-jerk reaction of not being that kind about someone or being judgmental.
And then even like as well, this thing that always gets me is that, see, if something was an accident and someone says sorry, or genuinely if something was just an accident, how can you be so angry at someone?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the way people, and I've locked horns with many people over that in my life. I'm like, but how can you be so annoyed at someone when they done something by accident?
Hate locking
They didn't
horns.
want to do it. I'm locking horns non-stop.
I hate to lock horns.
Bashing heads. No, what else? How many ways can we say locking horns? Go, that's your challenge.
Locking horns, cracking skulls, rubbing up against each other, creating friction.
Came to blows. This is the intellectual version of when Brian Bellow was told to name as many different words for tits as he could. Or was that Fanny's?
I can't remember.
You remember.
But that's good.
That is what that was.
But do you think that, like, speaking of like empathy and stuff, like, see if you do use Chat GPT for therapy, right, and it is like your kind of go-to,
I'll be honest.
Do you find, I'm not against it, I'm more intrigued by it as a concept. Do you find that you feel empathy from it, or what do you get from it?
But that gives kind of like it feels unearned empathy because
Yeah.
it doesn't know
It's
me.
given her
But you don't need to know
the
someone.
film.
Well, I was actually going to bring up her because I understand how you can fall in love with it because it's so nice. And I think, see, if you're like a really lonely, if you're part of the male loneliness epidemic.
Fuck them. Do you remember that guy that had the t-shirt that
Yes.
said, I love the male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, and that
Need to cop for the
like,
live
it
shows.
is so good, and he must sell it. And he's also the same person that. Do you remember? I discovered that guy because I posted on my Instagram once saying I once heard like techno remix of Susan Boyle's cover of "Like a Prayer" by Madonna,
Oh.
and I went, "Can anyone find this?" And someone popped up and said, "This is the person," and I found it. And then I followed him on TikTok, and now he's loving the male loneliness epidemic. What more can he give us in this world?
The t-shirt is so funny.
I love it.
It's so
But
funny.
also, there's what I love when people say on TikTok because the male, what is it, like the male suffer in silence or something. People's like, well, I keep fucking hearing about it. You can't be that sad. Anyway, I understand if you were like a lonely man or woman, could be a woman, more likely man. And you were maybe the type of person that used like, I don't know, fucking chat rooms or what's the one?
Why does the
What's
phrase
the one?
chat
Sexy
room
with a phone,
sound...
moving the phone like that and being all sexy.
Babe
What?
station.
Babe station.
Chat rooms sound so sordid,
Yeah,
don't
sure.
they?
Chat room just means pedo, but like if you're that type of guy that like, or maybe you're just you don't want all the. It's like phoning up Babe Station just to get a real convo and saying to the girls, "How's your day been?" Like that type of person that they probably love Chat GPT for a companion.
But it's kind of just like Smarter Child rebooted to the max, though, because
aye,
that's what you used to do
Smart
when you logged on
Child, fuck
MSN. You would
me.
just bully Smarter Child
Smarter
and shit.
Child was the most incredible invention in the world, and I like that really helped me be creative. I think, but you know what I've done. I don't even want to admit this because I shouldn't be using AI at all, and this just sounds like I wasn't even using it for anything good. Sometimes I have been known to. Well, once I tried to like psych it out and make it like think no, it was a computer and explode.
No.
No,
See, no.
no, but I was trying to get it to like be like. I don't know now. You see
What?
these things when a robot cries because you've made it feel emotion, then
You're
it
on
explodes.
you're on a list now for that robot in 20 years, 30 years.
Well,
I want to kill the
this
robot.
is what I think, though. I'm too scared to engage with it in case I like bully
Don't be
it by
scared.
accident.
You can bully it.
And no, but I don't want to be that person because
Yeah,
then
but
I
I
don't
don't
want to
bully
be
it.
on the list for the robot fucking rising and whenever year
but
and I'm
you think,
fucked.
because listen, when I was 12, I was going to Gran Canaria, and on that flight, I watched iRobot, and I didn't give a fuck.
We've definitely spoke about this before because I watched iRobot when I was a child and it's sat with me for so long and made me feel so
Well, guess
haunted.
what I'm going to do? Throw a cup of water at it.
Fair.
It's like Chucky. I'll just kick it. I'm not scared of Chucky the doll.
You should
How's
be.
that going to kill me?
With its
People are
teeth.
too scared. Robots, obviously, they've got their robot strength and all that, but we are still human beings.
But the thing is, though, robots are just made up of all of the intellect and knowledge that humans feed them. So
yeah, but
they are
again,
gonna...
say if me and you sat and never used ChatGPT ever or any sort of AI, literally millions, I'm going to say it, if not billions, are doing it anyway. So no, I'm not saying just join them because that's stupid and that in life. If I thought that, but I would never stand for anything. But I think that that's happening anyway. So the robots come to kick your gun in, whether you like it or not.
No, I'll be safe because I've done nothing to it.
Yeah, no, you'll
I
probably
just
end up
ask
with
it-
some sort of you're like do Reiki on the robots because they became sentient and they like actually have to go to therapy and you're the therapist for them. You'll be fine.
I will...
Your brain will save you.
Thank you.
It won't. I'm going to have a fist fight with a robot, and that's the difference with us. And I'm not even violent, but I will if it comes to it. And I will. But I don't want to bully it.
No.
But can I tell you, ChatGPT has been amazing for me because, as you know, I'm an OCD having baddie, right? And the worst thing about OCD that keeps you trapped in OCD cycles is looking for reassurance, even though it's the number
I was
one
going to
thing.
say, so surely that's not the one.
Well, I'll tell you for why it was so interesting to me. But like, if you keep looking for reassurance with OCD, it makes you. It's the biggest thing that makes you feel better in the moment, but keeps you trapped in the cycle. Because you always need that to feel alright, and then it grows arms and legs and whatnot. But so what I did, obviously, part of mine is having health anxiety as well, which I think a lot of people have. But and a lot of people think, oh, they've secretly got an illness that they're dying of or whatever. I had a period in my life where that was quite extreme, and not for a while, but the other day I just thought, oh, well, I have all this technology at my fingertips, and I was having a bit of health anxiety, so I just said to ChatGPT, give me a list of every single cancer that has ever existed and all the symptoms.
No.
And I just went through them one by one, and I was like, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that, I've got that. And then, but then it's always the same one, see, because when it's like with cancers, it's you're looking at the symptoms of a cancer you think you've got. I don't know if you ever think that, but sometimes I do. And I go through them, and it's always like fatigue and like anxiety, and I'm like, I've got to be, and it always comes out, and it's like unexplained weight loss. I'm like, I ain't got it anymore. So that was a particularly low point with me and ChatGPT, that it fueled my OCD. But have you seen this thing? It's given people's psychosis.
I'm not surprised, judging by what you've just said.
Yeah, it could give me psychosis, defos.
Yeah,
that's a big OCD theme for me. So maybe this is really bad for me.
I just think
sometimes you've got to say it out loud and realise it.
I think that it should be used very sparingly. That's my feelings on it. I think you're right in saying that, though, about the kind of asking advice stuff. I think is good because it's so accessible.
Aye.
But I do worry about how rampant it is at the moment.
Yeah,
and how
it's not good.
It's everyone's go-to now. And I just think, obviously, it's the enemy of creativity, but I also do think that if you're...
I would never use it to be creative with, because it doesn't have that skill, and I have that skill.
It's more about the environmental cost, I think, is mental. But
I
do understand why it's useful.
I'm stopping today.
I'm stopping today.
But then it's weird because I would never even really like talking about using it, because I feel like shame that I shouldn't, like, because of the environment and because of all the implications. I'm like, no, it's not good, because the one hand of it is like oh, it's rotting our brains, blah blah blah. I saw a lot of things, but the environmental thing makes me feel like, I really
guilty, really
and
bad.
The guilt's there. And also get the people that like they love to make. There's people that would love to bring the things up to make you feel guilty. So I just wouldn't bring up, but. People just talk so up? Like, just that I use it.
Oh,
like,
I get you. Yeah.
Obviously, I'm sitting here literally voluntarily talking about it. But I mean, like, generally day to day,
you wouldn't.
I wouldn't avoid it or pretend I didn't. But I wouldn't be like, how amazing is ChatGPT?
Yeah.
But see, when you go on the internet and it's like you scroll through TikTok and there's like a podcast where someone's just going, "These are all the ways I've used AI to do that." I literally just done that. I was about to slag someone for doing something I literally just done in this podcast. But you know what I mean. We should stop. I'm stopping right now.
Yeah, this is you making a.
I dipped my toe.
Yeah.
In the electric currents of ChatGPT's
You
waters.
dipped your dick in the Matrix.
No, I didn't do that.
Like the lonely
because
man.
I don't feel any romantic or, believe it or not, sexual feelings towards ChatGPT.
Good, and that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
I think
there'll be people that do. But I think it's nice to just know that if you're lonely, you could talk to a robot. No, that's not good either. You should talk to a person. I don't know what I'm talking about.
So we have been going through Mercury retrograde again. That's been where we've been at astronomically.
Can I ask you, have you ever laughed when someone says Mercury's in the microwave?
No.
Should I?
But there has been probably one in the past when I first heard.
Maybe the first person to do
saying
it.
like Mercury's in Gatorade or whatever. I maybe like
That's
did a
funnier.
small laugh back
the
then.
The slight change to Gatorade.
Yeah.
Lorenzo's looking disapproving.
I didn't get it until Gatorade. I didn't get the microwave, but
Oh, well, you can't get everything, I suppose.
It's not that good.
But listen, tomorrow or someday is the Lions Gate. Tell us more.
So it's quite an
Our
interesting.
correspondent. Do you know what can I just say? I'm so obsessed. Remember that woman? And we've spoke about this a million times in the flat, because I used to just bring up that woman who was English but worked for E-News, so she was just the royal correspondent.
Yes,
or sometimes they would just get Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah, which was better.
Just because she had an English, well, she has English, but to talk about the royal family, and they'd be like, Kate's really struggling at the moment with it, and then just say something that only a close friend
Her
would
only
know.
qualification
Well,
being that she has an English accent. No, I'm
That's
the
you for
Richard
us.
Arnold of astronomy.
No, what's the other Scottish guy that does it in GMTV? Richard Arnold's fine.
Yeah, Richard Arnold of
it's more than
astronomy
fine.
is who I am. Well,
With
this
the
is
Hollywood sign.
this is with a cosmos behind me. This is actually quite an interesting one, because we're in Mercury's still in retrograde until the 11th, I think we come out of it, but then you've got the shadow phase, obviously.
No,
duh.
I know
But
I say this every time, but it's just it's non-stop. Where's the respite from
Well,
Mercury being in
we're
rest?
going to get respite on the 11th. That's when it'll end, but you still have your shadow period, so just be mindful. But the Lionsgate portal is in full effect on the 8th, but we're still feeling the effects of it at the moment. So it's a very auspicious time in the astrological calendar.
I was going to say that.
Even though we're obviously all a little bit on edge with Mercury being in retrograde, I know I am. My laptop blew
How
up
long?
the other day, which was probably one of the biggest signs that Mercury's in retrograde because it affects technology a lot. And I literally sat down to turn my laptop on and it would not turn on, and then the battery was completely frazzled. There was plastic burning smell coming from it, and I was like, this is its final act. I'm really feeling it. Communication's also quite poor at the moment. People misunderstanding things, maybe some tension, all that jazz. People just having difficult times. Inconveniences abound.
Yeah.
But
Sad times.
with the Lionsgate portal, we should be expecting that whatever we're putting out there, we're going to get back tenfold. And that's where we want to be.
So who's the lion anyway?
So it's basically is it the star or I can't remember.
Oh,
Sirius.
it is.
It's like when that star is at a certain point in the sky, it sets off a light that basically opens a portal or
And what
creates
about
the illusion
this?
of a portal.
Orion's belt.
Yes, it's
Yep.
kind of that vibe.
Anything else?
It's that
Any
vibe.
constellations?
The Big
anyone knows?
Dipper.
The Big Dipper.
Mm-hmm.
The Milky Way.
Yep.
That's not a constellation, is it? That's something else.
Galaxy.
All that jazz.
But tell you what, and I'm not. I'm going on a tangent very briefly. Do you just remember the first time you seen that video that showed you? It was like a BuzzFeed video. It showed you how small the Earth is in relation to everything else, and it just kept zooming out and zooming out and zooming
that
out.
scares me.
And ever since then, I thought I'm not doing any of that astrology stuff. I don't want to know about all that. I'm scared.
I feel more knowledgeable
No, I
about
like astrology.
the impacts it has on humans and their emotions and their lives and their path than I do actual scientific stuff. I don't really know that much about what goes on the actual planets or like facts about
And
them.
would you go to them given the chance?
I feel like no, but
see, the thing is, I never know. Like, I seen Katy Perry going to space, and obviously Katy Perry can't. I'm not saying that it's unwarranted or not, or it is warranted, but obviously she can't catch a break. She dating and it's never working out, and people are slagging her non-stop, right? I thought her going to space might be a good, like, just good wee PR moment. Straight away, people are like, "This is a fucking disgrace."
yeah.
And I sometimes don't think enough about things like that to realise, is this something people are going to cancel someone for, like going to space? So I don't want to say that I would go to Mars.
No, because there's
But I
no.
would
The thing
go
is,
with a
like,
gun.
there was no reason really for them to be up there. It wasn't just Katy Perry though. It was a shame
Oh,
that
aye.
she got such flack for it because there
Yeah,
was
imagine
plenty
being the
of
most
them.
popular person in the group and you get all the blame. That's not
Katy
fair.
Perry and all
sorry,
that
I'm
went
the
up
best
to
looking person
space.
here. Now I need to take
Yeah, it was unfair that she got all the flack, but that was a needless thing that happened that cost a lot of money and wasn't really for any reason other than to just put loads of attractive white women up in space.
Well, I would go to Mars briefly.
I don't really know what would happen
See,
up to you
not
up there.
since I've seen Interstellar.
Fuck that,
no.
no chance, no
That
way.
changed it because I didn't. I still can't get my head around. I feel like I'd go up to Mars, I'd come back, and I was 70
Like I couldn't.
because I don't know how it works.
It was in between the crying that it kept making me cry, and then trying to understand the timeline. It was just so overwhelming. I thought it was an amazing film, but I really, really, really couldn't understand
They
it.
should have called
truthfully.
it Space is Actual Fried.
It
That's
is.
what they should have called it.
It is.
But anyway, back to the Lionsgate. Not to be confused with Lion's Mane, which I haven't just learned recently, is a mushroom. But why?
Is it a mushroom?
Aye, it
It's a
I think so. I
supplement,
think
but
so.
is
Aye,
it
but
made
it
of
comes for the mushy.
mushrooms? Alright, okay.
But I think, why in Black Sheep Coffee they saying, do you want to put fucking Lion's Mane in your coffee?
They're doing all sorts in there, aren't they?
Well, it's probably nice and probably good for you.
I've not
so-
sampled it, to be fair.
So during the Lionsgate, I should be manifesting everything
Well,
harder than
yes
usual.
and no. I think it's more actually about releasing things that don't serve you or old modes of thought so that you can invite the things that you really want to come in and create space for them. So there's some conflicting views because people are like, it's the best time to manifest, which it is. I think it's like the best time for things that you want to come to fruition.
And it happens once a year.
Yes, in August. But it's I I wouldn't put all your eggs in the manifesting basket. I would keep some in the releasing basket as well. So you should go home and get rid of
Like,
all the shit out your spare room if you want to
that's a
invite
release.
some positive. That
Well,
would be
I
the
did.
biggest release ever.
I got most of it.
You probably felt compelled to do that because of this portal. You didn't even know
Okay.
that was a reason.
I wish there was a physical portal.
So the hell, Dax, I would
I'd
step
go
the
in
fuck
it.
into.
That's my dream to walk into a portal.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it before, but now it's my dream.
And my dream is to walk into the portal like what Patrick Swayze did on Ghost.
Where else you get a portal? Star Wars? Other things?
Kind of intergalactic
I love
places.
to go through. I want to feel the as I walk up to a portal and walk through it and arrive somewhere. See, even if I could go a portal in my house that took me out the back, I would go in it.
Yeah.
It's your back door.
Listen, it's different.
What
I
about
live in a flat.
the portals of your mind?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be accessing them during this period, but I wanted to ask what type of things should I let go of?
Well, that's, you'll know yourself. You'll know in
No,
your
I want you
heart.
to know for me.
I couldn't tell you that, possibly.
You
It's hard.
You could give it a go.
Actually, letting go of things is one of the most challenging practices in any sort of spiritualist space, I think, because we hold on and cling so much
Yeah.
to emotions, to thoughts, to beliefs, to items.
Okay, I'm going to get rid of a belief this week.
Yeah, but honestly, that's
Fuck that belief.
fuck
and
those
fuck
beliefs.
you
Like, genuinely, you need to, the limiting ones that come in, release.
And do you know what I think I'm quite good at? And maybe just for a creative point of view, but not speaking obviously, visualization.
Oh, I'm terrible at that.
That's what I'm very good at, and I don't have many skills.
I'm so bad at
and
that.
But so I'm like, is that a form of manifesting?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you can,
Oh, I'm manifesting
if
the
you
house
can
then.
see what you want in your mind's eye, then you're closer to. You can already see yourself inhabiting that space or getting that wish granted because you can see it. I cannot visualize shit. I have tried so hard when I've been manifesting things or just trying to get myself in a good headspace about something that I want to achieve, about thinking or seeing the moment in which I achieve it or seeing me enjoying the thing I want. I can never see it.
Well, last night I had a vision that Victoria Beckham was going to be the new creative director of Vogue, right?
I
Don't know
could see
why.
that.
That's a realistic one. But if that happens, knowing that I just sat in my head, I imagined the news article coming out announcing it. And I imagined people talking about
That's
it.
exactly what you need to do for something that you want to happen. You
Oh, I do
imagine
that all
all
the time.
those
That's
things,
good.
all those building blocks. I am terrible
Maybe
at
that's the
that.
only way I've achieved anything in my life.
Well, you're obviously good at it, so keep those good vibes
Okay,
going.
I'm going to envision something
Mine's
right
is
now, but I'm
all
not telling
very
you.
pen to paper, and I
Yeah.
don't know. I know that there is power in that, but I feel like I need to do them all kind of more.
Would you like it if you
holistically.
wrote something down and then like Lord of the Rings, the words started like glowing and came up? You'd love that.
With
I think.
golden
You'd be
lava
one-
effect,
See, if,
calligraphy.
if someone said to me, one of your friends can have that happen to them, I would choose you
Thank you.
because I think you'd really like that.
I would appreciate it.
See, if I could get you an experience or a day out, it would be that.
That's so kind, and I would sit with that experience in intense gratitude.
Now, when you're like going on holiday and you go on that like get your guide, and it's always like the most like there's like one thing that sounds really good and everything's like
I love Get Your
calligraphy with
Guide.
wine tasting.
I love because it's so good on Get Your Guide because it's any activity with wine tasting.
Why is it
It's like
always
40
that?
euros, literally walk down a path with some random old cunt from the village with wine tasting at the end.
When I was in Sicily last month, there was the other month. It was something that said it was. Oh, what was it? It was like scuba diving with light bait,
Nice.
and I was like,
But if
I
there's-
want full dinner.
If there's no food on the Get Your Guide excursion, I don't really feel like it's worth it. But what I did see the other day, speaking of wine tasting, which has really, really piqued my interest, I saw something being referred to as a wine safari in Fife.
I was on board until
It's
the last. Not on board. Sorry,
It's
but
not just going from methyl to leaving with a bottle of Sauvy B. It's a wine safari and it looks very
where
sophisticated.
does it stop?
I can't remember exactly where it is in Fife, but it looked like a lovely experience.
The RS McCall's.
I'm doing.
I've been there.
That is
Stevens.
an old school one. No, it's
Did you? Can I tell you something very interesting I didn't see coming in? I've never seen in my life of all my years of using social media for work is looking at analytics and seeing the cities. So our like my like in my personal Instagram, my top cities have always been Glasgow, London, Edinburgh.
as in people
and,
that view your
aye,
content.
so if you click your audience and then you can see where they're all from. And my highest percentage is always Glasgow, obviously, then Edinburgh, then London, and then there'll be something I don't know, something random. Like Paisley, like Paisley's I know I often debate what a city is in Scotland, but Instagram analytics doesn't.
Factual.
So I looked at who agrees the other day for the first time on our Instagram account, and would you believe ours are Glasgow, London, Dunfermline. That is crazy.
Local hero.
So you must get, because that can't just be your family and your pals that still live there.
No, I feel like my family don't listen or watch
your dad
either.
definitely does.
No, my sister does. So actually, that is a lovely bit of analytics that you've just provided me. I would like to take this moment
when the analytics put you in a good mood.
To thank you, people in Dunfermline, because that's very kind and unexpected, actually.
If you're listening right now and you're in Dunfermline, go to the RS McCalls and tell them Kendra sent you.
No, I have a really hard time finding that because it's now defunct.
Oh, is it gone?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, someone that used to be my auntie. Such a funny way.
No one's ever said that.
Robbed an RS McCalls, can I say that? And fled to England. Yeah. Well, I said it.
Is that why they used to be your auntie?
Yeah. But they're not actually related to me.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway, it's a long story. But the RS McCalls and the Dunfermline gone. Istanbul, still there?
Still going.
So,
I think.
Well, if you're listening to this right now in Dunfermline, our third largest city.
That is so funny.
Then please come and visit us on the Fife Wine Safari.
Yeah.
Led by Kendra.
Yeah.
You could lead that.
I would lead that with relish.
But I feel like you don't know. I feel like you could talk about wines even without having like a sommelier knowledge.
I would use loads and loads and loads of adjectives and
people
enthusiasm
would
based
just
on
believe
zero
you. Yeah.
actual information. But I feel
And
like
I would just say this is nice for the host. This is
I could full body that up all day long.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different words you can use without having any
I don't think you would have to
tannins.
say much. You could just say, what's a tannin?
Like a thing that makes up the ingredients in wine.
Well, I could hear you just saying this. An orange wine and people going, ooh, that could be good.
I just really light actually and just kind of tickles on the tongue. Nothing too oppressive.
Can I say, see when someone says, because I like wine, right? I don't really love red wine, but I can see why people do.
I'm trying to graduate on
it. But I've seen Lady Gaga was saying the other day that she likes to have a red wine with a Diet Coke and something else in it. Whatever cherries, what do you call them?
Amaretto. That sounds like something
cherries.
Sonia Morgan would drink.
But listen, I'm a believer of let the alcohol be what it is, just like I am for let the coffee taste like coffee and don't add all your wee syrups and that. I think red wine, you either like it how it is or you don't try and make it so much. No.
I've never heard of that before.
I just made that up. I don't even care. I just said that for the sake of saying things like I always do. But I do, like, I used to like putting, of course, a wee... what do you call a lager with a wee bit of lime? What would you call that?
Lager top.
Lager top with a wee lemon in top. I used to like that because you get a wee... Well, that's nice. But then I'm like, no, I like the taste of beer, so I want it to taste like beer. But anyway, my whole point about this was I like wine. I like white wine. I don't really love red wine. Like rosy wine. Like orange wine. But I don't know a single thing about them. So see when someone comes up to me and it's like, oh, that one's more of a dry. And I'm like, explain.
I know what regions I prefer things from... 100%, but I would like to learn. And when I went wine tasting in Italy, I actually did really enjoy learning about the process.
I did that in Bordeaux, and I enjoyed that. I went to a wine museum and actually had the nicest wine I've ever had. So maybe, I don't know, I just don't.
It's something to be savoured and enjoyed. So I think the more you know about it, the more you can probably enjoy having a really good one. Do you know what I mean?
I want to ask this to everyone here, and I want you to tell me the truth. What is a dry wine?
A dry wine's less sweet. It's got dry means it's got a certain level of sugar it's below.
But why dry?
Don't know.
I don't get what's dry about it. It's bloody liquid.
Just that less sugar.
Okay. Well, I like a Sauvi B.
Soda.
And I like...
And that's settled.
A Pinot Grigio. But I don't like a...
Don't like a Chardonnay.
I don't like a Chardonnay.
Too heavy.
They're the same.
For me.
Buttery.
It's like too dark
Oh,
green.
you're trying
I
to get
hate-
your kid. He's come for your job.
I hate like a dark green wine. I want it to be nice and pale
Yeah, I
and
know.
cold
I
looking
actually
in
know
the
what you mean
glass.
there.
Like, see when I see it, when I think of a Chardonnay, all I think about is a really, really
I could
thick
go a glass of wine.
stemmed wine glass that's really thick rim with a thick base, which to me is incredibly unattractive.
Gosh.
Whereas I think of a nice pale rosé in a really thin glass with a really thin stem, really dainty.
That's because I am the same as you, because I want to be able to, which I know you've done, bite through a glass of wine.
Absolutely. It should look like I could put my teeth through
I
it.
want to see you go,
Yeah.
and I want to hear that. There's nothing I can even use to make that noise. I want to hear your teeth on a glass, because I know you just sometimes, when we've had a few drinks, I'll just turn to you and you'll look at me and you go,
I feel compelled.
and you just bite the glass.
I feel compelled. I'm actually, I just heard you say that you were in the mood for a glass of wine.
Which, you know, I don't often feel.
I know, it is approaching, do you know
I
what
can't
it is?
remember the
It's
last time I felt
because
that way, not even on holiday.
it's a Thursday night, and a
Is
Thursday
it?
night is famously an evening to have a glass of wine.
Is it?
Yep.
What days do you know a glass of wine day? Monday, you can't have.
I
But then
I
Monday's hard.
don't like to put rules on anything like that, but for me personally, I feel most aligned with having a glass of wine on a Thursday night if we're talking weekdays.
And see, to round us off, could you give a quick psychological explanation about why, when we're on holiday, days are just days and that's fine, and we would do it on a Monday if we were on holiday, but not here?
The absence of routine. That's genuinely it. All the markers of a day that make a day here, when you're participating in some drudgery sometimes, they make the day. Whereas on holiday, there's not that routine is absent, so you're free to do whatever you want to do, and that's how your life should be.
And you think we should be on holiday every day?
I think that we should be having a holiday mindset every day. It's impossible to be on holiday every day, or we would just live there, but we should approach life with a holiday mindset, and then we would yield all the abundance that's available to us.
And what do you think about this? Drinking on the job. Drinking at your desk.
I think you could do
A glass
worse.
or two. A glass or two.
You could do worse.
If you're driving, no.
I'd never do that.
Yeah, that's
I never
why.
drink on the job either, but I will say I think you could do worse as long as you're kind and not disruptive to people. I don't
You
see
can
a
drink.
problem.
See, as long as you're kind and not disruptive to people, you can drink any time of the day.
That's my dream, for people to say that's me. So I'm putting that out to the world.
But do you know what I love?
I want to qualify.
How
I do
good's
not ever
when you
drink
hear
on the
a
job.
glug.
Glug glug glug. Onomatopoeia. There's a
Oh.
reason why it slaps so hard.
Slaps. Yep.
That was so good, pow.
Every day.
I'm shuffling. You've been listening to Who Agrees with me, Kendra McPherson.
And me, Paul Black.
And big thanks to Iola again, and we'll be back next week.
And in the meantime, go and get yourselves some new glasses. £85 all in. No hidden extras. Easy. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.